So in my last video, I showed you how I made a beat and how I also mixed it. And now we're at the final stage, mastering, which is like the final boss in making music. This will make or break your track, and all the hard work that you put in to compose and mix and do all of that work can fall apart if you don't handle this part correctly. So I'm gonna show you 2 ways that you can master your track in a really nice and simple way where you can get your beats to sound amazing and sound super quality and sound loud as. So the first thing I would recommend for you to do is to have a reference track that you can kind of, maybe reference tracks, it doesn't even have to be one track, but kind of some music that you listen to that you like that is similar to the kind of music that you want to target and the song that you're trying to master, right? So if I come here, it could be Spotify, it could be YouTube Music, it could be anywhere. But for me, this track is an Amapiano track, so I can choose Amapiano songs, maybe an Amapiano playlist, and I can have some songs that I can listen to and just keep on the side just to make sure that, I can bounce back and forth between those songs just to, kind of listen and also just make sure that my song sounds similar to those kinds of songs. I'm just showing you that because that's what you do when you're mastering, because you want your songs to sound similar to what the other songs sound like out there, right? The one thing that I'm going to do first is I'm going to remove this limiter that I had already put here. I had a limiter that I put in right here on the mixer. So my master channel has nothing on it. It's just totally free. Okay, so the first way to master is you can use Maximus, right? That is like the simple way, the best way that I can say to master. Maximus is super easy. And I do have mastering videos where I show you in depth how to actually use Maximus. If you want to watch that video, I'll put a card up there and link it down below if you want to watch that. But what you can do to master your stuff, a good place to start is to use presets. If you open this and then you come in here, you can actually see some presets right here, right? You can see there's mastering right here. There's clear master, there's master RMS, there's master aid, max loudness. So this is a maximizer plugin to make sure that you get your track to sound super loud. So that's what you want to do. So one thing I'm going to do with this track is I'm going to select maybe a loud part of it. So I can pick maybe around here. Let's just say around here, right? And then I can just scroll through Maximus to to find a preset that sounds good. So that's clear master, and then master aid. Okay, I think I like this master aid preset. I think it sounds really good. It added some really nice energy to the track. And what you can also do if you find a preset that you like based off these, you can tweak everything. You can come here to the low and then you can tweak the lows. You can come to the mid and tweak the low mid, the low mid settings, and then you can also come to the master and tweak those settings. Then you can also right click here to tweak the high frequencies and the low frequencies. Remember, you must also be going back and forth with your references here just to listen to them so that you kind of find out that, is my track kind of sounding similar? If you hear that your track is sounding a little bit too brighter than the tracks that, that are your references, then you might want to turn down the high frequencies, and just turn those down. If you feel like your track has too much bass, then you might want to lower the bass down. If you feel like your track has, is lacking that, mid frequencies, that presence, then you might want to raise a little bit of the mid frequencies. And you can also just move these around and make sure that, you select the frequencies as you see fit. And another thing you can also do is that you can also come here by the master, and then if you want some more gain, you can play around with the pre-gain and then the post-gain. So that's now adding a bit more volume. So you can see here that these spikes are not hitting up top here. So if you want more gain, so pre is before any processing is done to the file itself, and then post is just the output with the compression and the effects that is being added by the maximizer here. So what I want to do is I want to raise the pre here, so I can raise that. So you can see it's actually starting to to sound louder. You can see the purple is looking much bigger, and then I can also go on post and raise that. until I feel like it's nice and loud to to a point where I feel like it's really nice, as loud as I want it to be, while also still going back to my reference files, which are the reference files that I have, or the music that I like, just bouncing back and forth, just to make sure that I'm not just tweaking stuff here without any sense of direction, because you want your music to sound like other music that is mastered by other people out there. So make sure you do that. So that's the best way that I can teach you right now. The first best way that I can teach you that you can do if you don't have any other third-party plugins, just by using FL Studio stock plugins. You can use Maximus. It's super easy. It has everything you need. It will maximize your track and make sure that it sounds really good. And now we can move on to the next way. So I'm just gonna remove Maximus from here, and then I'm gonna load up the big balls, the final balls of mastering, which is Ozone. If you don't have Ozone, then you might want to look into getting Ozone. I'm gonna make sure I put a link in the description to how you can get Ozone. You can get Ozone, but this is what most of the professionals use to master their music. And when it comes to Ozone, it's basically kind of the same format. You can also go into presets, and you can also just check their presets. So they have genre-specific mastering presets that you can pick. So I know this track is kind of electronic, so I can pick maybe an electronic or an EDM preset, and then I can see how that sounds. And then I can start to even tweak all of these modules, and just to see, and tweak it depending with what kind of direction and what I'm feeling. So I can change the exciter settings, I can change the stabilizer settings, I can change the low end focus, I can change the dynamic settings, and there's also a maximizer here. So if I want it loud, I can just turn down this threshold here as I play and listen to how it's sounding. Like this. So do you hear how the track is already sounding good? Simple and easy. You don't have to do all that super complicated stuff, That's easy mastering for you. Another place to also start that's nice with Ozone is you can also use their AI. Everyone's talking about AI right now, but this is why I say that Ozone is like the final boss for mastering, bro. It also has AI inside that can help you master your music. So you can also use Master Assistant, right? So I can just come to the assistant view, and it's saying waiting for audio, and then I can just start playing my audio like this. Okay, so there you have it. Super quick and easy. Now it actually used its AI algorithm to listen to the track and then master the track. And you can see over here it says optimize for, so it's optimizing for streaming. You can change it to optimize for a DJ player, and then you also have dynamics here, and you also have the maximizer settings, and you also have the width, so you have the imager here, and you can also swap around with these targets here to change them around to see what works well. Remember, going back to also the references that you have, that you are listening to make sure that your track sounds kind of close to your references that you have. And another thing you can also do is you can also go into the settings here and change these settings as well, just to tweak them to taste, to make sure if you want it a bit more wider, you can do that. So then you can play around with these, so that you can play around with the stereo width. If you feel like it added too much stereo width, you can do, you can play around and do this. And if you want to, if you feel like it's a bit too loud, you can also just come here to threshold and just turn that down if you want to. That's up to you, so that you adjust everything to taste. So I feel like that's a good place, to start. And if you don't like the imaging, you can turn it off completely here, and then you just, or you can put it on or increase it if you want to. If you want more of the maximization, you can even change again here to optimize for. And if you wanted to relearn, you can also just ask it to relearn, and then it's gonna do the process all over again. And then after that, it's gonna give you a whole different sound of a master after it relearns the track again, and then it does everything again. And if you come here to the advanced here, you have other options that you can also use. You can also check the track in like mono, and then check it in mono like this, then switch back and forth. So you can hear how the track is gonna sound in mono, and you can also even add a reference if you want to, and you can also see how it might sound if someone maybe is gonna play it maybe on a low bitrate MP3 or an AAC format, or if you want to also try it with a bit of dithering. So this is how this track sounds before the mastering. So it sounds super weak, low volume, it doesn't have that punch. Now this is how it sounds with the mastering. So I'm gonna turn the mastering off bypass and it sounds like this now. Ooh, way louder and way punchier and smoother and cleaner. Listen to that. Okay, so the track is sounding amazing. I did like a playthrough of the whole track from start to finish with this mastering and it sounds super amazing. Let me know what you think down below. You can do whatever you want, but this is the final boss for mastering if you really want to get into mastering. So I hope you found this super helpful. If you did, make sure to drop this video a like down below, and also watch my other mastering videos if you want to get more in depth and learn more about mastering. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you want to see more content from me, and I'll see you in my next video. I am X and I'm out. Peace.